Good day, my name is Graham Gordon Thomas and this is an experimental video. I'm going to announce a new political theory based in human economics and human capital that replaces the current democratic system from an economic and fiscal sense. It's based on an idea called co-opracy. Co-opracy is merely a society cooperating to protect itself against socialist corporate monopoly, in the sense that society joins it, and I will explain that later, because to beat something you have to join something. You can't oppose giant forces and expect to beat them. It's also based in an idea of equality and fairness and justice that is beyond the idea of gender equality or racial equality or any of those politically correct ordained ideas of equality. This is based on economic equality. What it is a sliding scale system, an idea that was invented or created by a wonderful politician called Paul Keating, ex-Prime Minister of Australia, and the only decent Prime Minister we've ever had, who had a technical mind when it comes to economics and being able to explain it. Now, he said that sliding scale system, and that excited me, because I've been observing human economics for an awful long time, and this is an awful long time in the making. It's based on a human system and not a monetary system. The current system we have is based purely on a monetary system, and like the money is the god. Human no longer matters anymore to those who are induced into this, I call it the cult of the crocodile, that has no emotional connection to humanity, so long as they themselves are making more and more money. And that has allowed then that idea to divide society and individualize it, so it cannot become a collective anymore in any cooperative sense. It can only become a collective in that it must agree with authority about any number of politically correct ideas. A sliding scale system is just a very simple thing. It just means that when it comes to basic, I call static capitals, or common capitals if you like, and this is not communism and nothing far from it, this is human capitalism, an advanced idea. When it comes to what it is about equality in a real sense, is that everyone, or all households, should have a unit of electricity so they can keep warm or keep cool, whichever, and electricity is free. With wind and solar, it's cheap. Once you've installed the gadgets and they've paid for them, there's no more payments, not much apart from the maintenance. You don't have to put any more coal into the wind generator. It's there, it just keeps making cheap free energy. So therefore, we can slide the scale of payments so that different classes of income pay a different rate according to their income. So therefore, that sort of equality then allows the wealthy, or pushing this climate change stuff, imposing it on it, empowers them to allow them then to allow the less well-off people who have to get on with looking after their economics and finances, more aware of it, allows them then to keep warm in winter and cool in summer. It allows pensioners then to have the comforts that pensioners ought to have if we're a civilized society. The other things about sliding scale, it differentiates in that it say speeding fines and all of those costs that are within a common, we have no choice about it. They're all equal to everyone. Everyone gets these costs, but they need to be differentiated in a scale according to their ability to pay, and is what a sliding scale system is. Also, what sliding scale system does, and this is an important thing, say many companies, if you investigate it beyond the veneer, are subsidised through very clever legislation and contract systems corporate politics involved itself in, and that, so therefore many corporations or private corporations or monopolies are subsidised through the fiscal distribution system, and their profits grow regardless the government is bringing their taxes down. And their profits grow because the more people there are in the population, the more their profits grow naturally. So the government is compounding the profits of private corporations through legislative stealth. And for that, I'll leave that. That's obviously easy to understand, but that is something that needs to be examined, and those subsidies need to be reduced so that money can then be distributed into infrastructure, better and cheaper housing and those sorts of things, rather than just into the bank accounts and inflated real estate, which is the monopolists crave to control. They crave to control all the assets. That is the plan behind this, as they create debt slavery. The other article in this is called what I call differentiated or variable rate GST or consumption tax, if you like. That will be because AI and software easily allows computer experts or software experts to create the algorithms that then can allow a different rate of GST or transaction tax, if you like, when people make a transaction, whether it's a supermarket or whatever it is. It then allows a different tax system altogether, which is far simpler than the one we have now, and also far fairer, in that everyone needs to pay tax, because we all need to pay tax regardless, because we need the systems that support us: hospitals, roads, police, all those sorts of things. We have no choice but to pay for it. But making it simple and making it easy and differentiating the GST rather than the income scales allows for another look at tax system altogether, and then makes it holistically more fair. And the idea is to eliminate human administration within all government involved fiscal transactions, whether it's between the people and the ATO or any other part of it. The more that human part of it can be eliminated from the government system, the more money will be available for building better roads and rail and that sort of thing. And I'm not talking about an immediate revolutionary effect. I'm talking about a very gradual progressive reform or evolution into a paradigm, I call it the leisure age, within 17 years. It takes about 12 years to develop the sort of cultural acceptance of this, because it then allows, this isn't about taking money off the rich. It's not about stopping anyone getting wealthy. People get enormously wealth compounds and it exponentializes once people get past a certain amount of wealth. It's just great. So it's just about reducing that and changing the attitude of that so it's more humane and socially responsible, so that when 12 years time the culture has accepted a more human way of thinking about what a society is, what a nation is, and within 17 years it's people have adapted then to it. So the emotional drag, the emotional connection onto figures on a screen or ideas have dissipated through time. So it's like going on a journey, as the Darwinian said, without travelling. No one is hurt this way, because it's just a gradual change and gradual acceptance into a more humane, and a system that is within the paradigm of as we enter the robot age and AI coming on doing lots of jobs. This then allows a total rethink about how you manage the human resource, so that and traffic jams, it allows you to reduce traffic jams enormously by adapting to 22-hour weeks and things like that. It's just a new way of looking at how human society as an organism itself exists as we enter a new age of AI and robots and all those systems that are coming online now that the government is totally unprepared for. It's ignoring it. Governments in Australia and it appears America are totally ignoring this wave, this massive wave of change that's going to crash against society. It thinks it can go on just meddling with the system with exactly the same format, just a different look, different issue as it had for the last 3 or 4 decades, and it's not going to work. It's going to be a disaster for those who are not well heeled, those who can't catch up. Not everyone's the same. And there's more to this system, and I'm going to put a series of videos out and explain how retirement itself should be flexible according to the physicalness of the job or a certain type of. Not everyone ages the same, regardless what the liberals think would enslave people into debt slavery until they died, and that's what this is about. This is to say that there's a more intelligent and humane way of organising an economic system, a fiscal distribution system within the coming paradigm that we're about to enter. My name is Graham Gordon Thomas, and I'm going to give a series of talks to put it on the public record on YouTube about an idea I've been working on for 50 years next year. Thank you. Co-opracy Sliding Scale Systems and differentiated GST.